Recently, I asked myself the question, how did the current situation arise? When I embarked on what I call my political philanthropy in the 1980s, American superiority was not in question. That is no longer the case.
The time for playing is over. It's been over, but it's really over.
Well, we've been arguing about pronouns here in the United States and wondering why 2x4s now cost $9 a piece. There's real drama unfolding in Europe. Tensions between Ukraine and Russia are the highest they have been in a very long time. And we get some sense that there are political elements, mostly in the Democratic Party, not exclusively though, who would like to see a war in Europe. What is this, and how concerned should we be about it?
Dmitry Firtash has good reason to want protection. He is helping fund Ukraine's fight back against Putin. Inside Firtash's blast-proofed office, security guards are just out of sight.
Can you show me on the map where your businesses are?
Before the war, he tells me he employed over 100,000 people in banking, chemicals, media, and controlled almost 3/4 of Ukraine's fuel imports. He made his fortune buying cheap gas from former Soviet states, which flowed to Ukraine through Putin's Russia.
And this is where all your coordination of the war effort is happening here.
In his war room, it seems clear his vast wealth is being unleashed against Putin's war.
So is this conflict moving toward war, and are there leaders in this country who would like to see that, do you think?
It is moving in a very dangerous direction, and the question for the American people is, are we willing to go to war with Russia on behalf of Ukraine? And we need to understand that such a war would come at a cost beyond anything that we can really imagine. Because this is not a war that is just, okay, this is going to be something that's happening to someone else, somewhere else on the other side of the world. No, this is something that will directly impact me and you, Tucker, every single one of your viewers, and all of our loved ones. And this is a war that is not a game. It's a war in which there are no winners, because you've got, thousands of nuclear weapons that the United States has aimed towards Russia. Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons aimed towards us that could hit any town or city in America in less than 30 minutes and exact a cost upon every one of us that would result in excruciating death and suffering beyond comprehension. Hundreds of millions of people dying and suffering, seeing their flesh being burned from their bones. This is something that you can't really even imagine, and it's a cost that we will all pay.
His new TV channel, Freedom, is streaming on the War Room wall.
The new tanks.
Yes.
A joint venture with other Ukrainian media bosses, a Russian language channel to counter the Kremlin's anti-Western propaganda.
They're using the war to launder your image.
No, not exactly. What I'm seeing now is a situation where everyone needs to come to the aid of Ukraine. I'll say it for the 20th time. I am a businessman. This is my job. I find ways to make money.
I think that I've been blamed for everything. I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
Why in the world would we ever contemplate going to war with Russia, honestly?
It is one that we should not do for those very reasons.
Yeah.
If you look at the impacts of what a nuclear war brings, it really brings about the end of the world as we know it, And our leaders should understand this consequence and take it seriously. And this is why President Biden, instead of continuing to escalate tensions and continuing this new Cold War between the United States and Russia, he needs to de-escalate these tensions, kind of, take the heat out of it and actually focus on bringing an end to this new Cold War. Because if he doesn't, then it's not a question of if we go to war with Russia, if this war ends up with a nuclear holocaust. It really is then just a question of when. And if we continue down this path that we are on, it's something that could happen a lot sooner than any of us think.
I'm just amazed by the magnitude of the stories that all of us are missing.
Падать стены начинают падать стены, а там людей внутри пиздало. Уже все крыша найдется.
The time for playing is over. It's been over, but it's really
Well,
over.
let's not be dramatic here.
Oh gosh.
Do we all know what we've got ourselves into?
Welcome to the Great Reset.
Do we know where we're likely to be going?
Mask mandates on the plane.
And who is going to lead us?
The invasion of Ukraine didn't come out of the blue. The world has been increasingly engaged in a struggle between two systems of governance that are diametrically opposed to each other: open society and closed society. Let me define the difference as simply as I can. In an open society, the rule of the state is to protect the freedom of the individual. In a closed society, the role of the individual is to serve the rulers of the state. Other issues concerning all of humanity, fighting pandemics and climate change, avoiding nuclear war, maintaining global institutions, have had to take a backseat to that struggle. That's why I say our civilization may not survive.
What I'm trying to say is Ted Kaczynski was right.
Oh! You must help save the world first.
Then you can take over that world.
All right, hold on, I've got it. I will help save the world first, then take over the world.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to reset and accelerate efforts.
As the world watches and listens in horror.
And why is he such a polarizing figure?
We really are going to be into a new world order, and possibly not one we could have predicted.
In January, Soros pledged $1 billion to take on the spread of nationalism through a new university network for teaching and research.
You now have all the truths. The real truth.
What I'm trying to say is Ted Kaczynski was right.
Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength.
But the essential point that I want to make in all of this is that we, I think, are genuinely at a point of rupture in international relations.
What I'm trying to say is Ted Kaczynski was right.
Exactly. So somebody who exhibits this type of behavior is exhibiting ostrich logic.
They would lose their rights and privileges.
Look at the data.
And boy, has it ruffled some feathers to dive into a complex societal issue.